This video is sponsored by Beer 52. Beer 52 is the most popular craft beer discovery club with over 150,000 members that get sent a brand new case of beer every single month. Each month's case has a different theme. Past themes have included beer from New Zealand, South Africa, Korea and all over the USA and Europe. As an independent British company, Beer 52 are passionate about the UK craft beer scene, which they continue to support during this difficult period. If dark beer is not your thing, you can simply choose the light option. Your case will also come with the award-winning beer magazine Ferment and a tasty snack. Don't worry though, if you do change your mind, you can pause or cancel your account at any time. Just go to www.beer52.com/blues to get your first case of 8 beers for just £5.95. That's www.beer52.com/blues.
Hello there guys and welcome back to Blues Fans TV for my live review of Tottenham 1, Chelsea 1, which was in the Carabao Cup, meaning it went straight to penalties after 90 minutes and Chelsea lost that 4-5 in penalties with Mason Mount missing the decisive penalty, the last penalty, meaning we're out of the League Cup, out of the Carabao Cup, which of course is everything but bloody brilliant. I'm fuming, I'm genuinely fuming. The first half was so easy, you know, Chelsea really didn't do enough with that, with how easy Tottenham made it for us. And in the second half, we were just bloody awful. We made subs, it got better. We pretty much had 2 sitters to decide the game. We don't take those, we bottle it. We let one make one mistake at the back. Spurs equalise, and then in the penalties, you know, Mondi gets unfortunate and Mount gets unfortunate. And that's that. And we're out. And I'm fuming. I'm absolutely fuming. Of course, if you're new here, if you're new to Blues Fans TV, make sure you subscribe. That would genuinely be massively appreciated. And, you know, drop a like if you're watching this right now as well. Or drop a like if you're watching this at a later point as a video. And make sure you hit the notification bell button as well so you don't miss any of the future videos. And it would also be quite good if you could subscribe to my personal channel, on which I will do another live stream tomorrow evening talking about this game again, because there's so much to talk about which I won't all be able to talk about here now, especially because I'll know more from the press conferences and interviews and I'll have watched some of the game again and stuff. So make sure you subscribe to that. The link will be up there with the I button as well. So that would be great. And lastly, before I actually get into talking about the game itself, let me just quickly remind you guys, if you do want to pre-order Football Manager, if you do want to pre-order Football Manager 21, do so with the link in the description. Get it early pretty much just for being a Chelsea fan and get 10% off for using the code BluesFansTV. And also, if you want to order the new Chelsea kit, make sure you use the other link in the description below. It helps us out a lot and it gets you the best deal possible. But let's just talk about the game now, because that's what we're here to do. And let's talk about, you know, started off with the lineup. That was the lineup that we started with. Edouard Mendy made his debut for Chelsea, which was a good debut overall, even though we lost in the end. The 2 centre-backs were Kurt Zouma and Fikayo Tomori. My graphics guy actually, you know, put them up the wrong way around. But, you know, it's what it is, I guess. You know, Zouma was a left centre-back, Tomori at right centre-back. Azpilicueta was at right back. Ben Chilwell made his full debut at left back. Kovacic and Jorginho as the double pivot. Mason Mount as the 10. Timo Werner on the left. Hudson-Odoi on the right. And Olivier Giroud started up front. And, you know, what is there to say about the game, really? We had all of the control in the first half. Spurs literally had the same tactics in the first half as West Brom did last week. And I did miss a donation here, I'm just noticing. By Zane, of course it is. £4.99 to laugh at us again. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. But yeah, I mean, like I said, what else is there to say? We started it off. Spurs, all they did was park the bus. And we had total control over the game. Let me just check how much possession we had in the end. Because that would be quite interesting, I think. Because it's just genuinely, it was a bit crazy. It was a bit crazy. No one's telling me the stats here. Let me just see if the Chelsea app is telling me stats. Do they tell us stats? I don't bloody know. I don't actually know how much possession we had. None of my apps are telling me. So let's ignore that. We had all of the control, but nothing really much happening until the 19th minute when we scored. You know, it was a good build-up play from Azpilicueta on the right, making Reguilón look silly, as, you know, literally the Aspi chop, you know, sod the Ronaldo chop. We have the Aspi chop. And probably just mugged Reguilón off, cut the ball back into the middle to just outside the box. Not quite sure it was aimed for Werner, but it, you know, ended up with Werner. And, you know, he took it, you know, controlled the ball, took it really well. Beautiful strike into the bottom of our corner. And it's bloody brilliant. Bloody brilliant. 1-0 up. I was very, very happy. And Zayn donated another £4.99, saying all that money spent, how will cope with Aubameyang and Lacazette when you face us? Well, I don't know, mate. I don't know. We'll see about that. I don't even know when we play it. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, other than that, in the first half, I mean, Spurs had a couple of half moments. One dodgy moment with Zuma well, I don't know who made the mistake, but in the end, Zuma had to make a extremely, extremely crazy last-ditch tackle when Mondi was kind of like coming for it, but Zuma got the tackle in before and kind of, I think Lamela fell over them, or was it Lamela? I think so. Fell over them and it was like, well, what's going on now? And then they had a chance, which Mondi did really, really well to save, actually, but other than that, nothing much was happening. We had a chance before we made a 1-0 already through Hudson-Odoi when a cross from the left was kind of made more dangerous than it actually was by Tanganga, and it fell to Hudson-Odoi. He took the shot the first time with his weaker left foot but put it over the goal. And that was really it for the first half. We had total control. We had all of the ball. Spurs did absolutely nothing. All they did was defend and sit back, and it was actually quite ridiculous. Going into the second half, Spurs come out trying, and we were just not there. You know, in the first half, there was so much urgency about Chelsea as soon as we lost the ball. So much urgency in the counter press to win the ball back immediately. And if we couldn't, we stopped their attacks immediately, either with smart fouls or just won the ball back with great tackles. We were very lethargic in the, going forward. The passing was way too slow. It was just sideways, 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 sideways. Nothing was happening. But in the second half, also the counter press was gone. Nothing was happening. Out of nowhere, Spurs could actually create attacks. Nothing huge for the most part, but attack after attack after attack nonetheless. Crosses, half chances, moments where Zuma had to last-ditch tackle, Tomori had to last-ditch tackle, the midfield was wide open, but especially down the wings. It was a nightmare. It was a genuine nightmare. We just didn't get out. Giroud had an absolute mare. I don't know what happened to Olivier Giroud this summer, but he clearly got old. Because when he came on against West Ham, it was shocking. The entire game today, he was so bad. Giroud didn't hold on to a single ball. Every single pass he played went straight to the opponent. Obviously, not every single one of them. But that's what it genuinely felt like. It was awful. Like, the first half was decent, but the second half was just awfully badly. We then, in the end, finally made substitutions. Finally made substitutions after 66 minutes. First of all, Emerson came on for Ben Chilwell, although that's not because Ben Chilwell wasn't playing well. That's just because Ben Chilwell isn't yet quite fit to play a full 90. And then a few minutes later, N'Golo Kante came on for Mateo Kovacic, and that substitution gave us a change. With Kante, we managed to attack a little bit higher, but still had the control with Jorginho sitting. So we managed to win a few balls back. Then Jorginho had a beautiful over-the-top ball to Callum Hudson-Odoi. He cut into his right, even though Tammy Abraham, who had just come on for Olivier Giroud, was already there in a probably better position, but Hudson-Odoi tried to do it on his own. Cuts in on his right, but blasted way over, which should have been an absolute hitter. Quite a funny moment happened there. Eric Dyer ran into the dressing room for an unbeknownst reason to me. Did he need a piss? I don't know. Did he need new shoes? I have no idea. But he ran into the dressing room. Then we had that chance. Obviously, a huge gap left open by a centre-back of theirs missing. And then you see Mourinho jumping up and running into the dressing room. And the next thing you see is Eric Dyer sprinting out again. So that was quite funny. Would have been a lot more funny if we didn't lose. But, it is what it is. And then not too long after that, Mason Mount had a moment where he was basically 2-on-1, Mason Mount and Timo Werner against one of their defenders. Don't know who it was, probably Alderweireld. But Mason Mount just waited too long with the pass to square it to Timo. It was intercepted and the chance was gone. We literally had two one-on-one chances basically, or two against one, if you exclude the goalkeeper chances, to make it 2-0. And we bottled it, absolutely bottled it. Another $5 Canadian donation by Sabo. Appreciate that a lot, mate. And then in the 84th minute, Eric Lamela scored. Sergio Reguilon, of course, their left wing back today, because Spurs turned up in a 3-4-3 formation. He was attacking-wise very good, but obviously made look like a mug by Aspilicueta for our goal. But yeah, he crossed it in from their left, our right. And then Emerson fell asleep, or not even fell asleep. He kind of was just misjudged the ball. It kind of went through him almost. And Lamela was right behind him and then tapped it in from close range to make it 1-1 at the time. We even had a couple of moments where we could have just done more with it in the last few minutes. The players looked tired, but how did we arguably look even more tired than Spurs? I don't know. They're the ones playing all the games, not us. Do you know what I mean? But regardless, there was no urgency in the second half. A little bit for like a 10-minute period, but that was it. And genuinely, the second half was just awful. Really, really bad. I also thought Frank Lampard took way too long to make substitutions. The Emerson Chilwell one, fair enough, but there should have been, Giroud should have been taken off much earlier. Mason Mount should have been taken off. Yes, he was bad, but also he already played 90 minutes 4 times this season, and then now he played again today and took the last penalty. Like, you've got to be some sort of crazy. I know Mount probably stepped up and said, I'll take the last one, and fair enough. You know, I'm not going to criticize Mount for missing a penalty. It's just, you know, it happens, right? It happens. But still, at the end of the day, you're like, why did he have to play all the 90 minutes? You know, you could have left Kovacic on the pitch. It really would have made no difference. We conceded the 1 goal anyway. But you could have brought Tammy on for Giroud, and you could have put Havertz on for Mason Mount, and we probably would have had a better second half, in my opinion. Lampard clearly disagrees, but that is my opinion. Then we get to the penalty shootout. Let me just step up. Who took our first one? So it was Eric Dyer scored for them, then Tammy Abraham scored for us, Lamela scored for them, Azpilicueta took for us, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg for Spurs, then Jorginho stepped up, scored, Lucas Moura scored their 4th, Emerson scored our 4th, Harry Kane, of course, obviously scored, and then Mason Mount steps up with our 5th penalty and misses. The annoying thing as well was that Edouard Mendy went into his left corner, so if you look at the goal, the right corner, for every single penalty, for the first 4, and they all went bottom left. And then for Kane's penalty, he went bottom left and Kane went bottom right. Frustrating. You know, in general, I thought Mendy was good. Made a couple of good saves. A couple of times where he tried to come for crosses and corners, where he didn't quite get on the end of it. But that's just getting used to the situation. He also needs a little bit more to getting used to the Prem being a bit more physical in the box than Liga is, because he was kind of struggling with the situation a little bit. But, you know, that is that. Chelsea spent 200 million and can't beat Spurs B team. Yeah, I mean, the biggest chunk of that money was on the bench in Kai Havertz, but yeah, you know, it is what it is. Like, what can I say? I can't laugh at anything. I can't, like, say, oh, justify it or whatever. Yeah, we didn't play our best team because we had Giroud up top. And, you know, Kai Havertz didn't start and Kante didn't start and Reece James didn't start and Thiago Silva didn't start. But other than that, it was pretty much the strongest team. So, please... No, I'm not going to remove my cap because my hair is an absolute mess. That's why I had to do that. We lost to Spurs. I can't believe this. I'm so mad. Yeah. Mendy struggled a bit. I disagree. I thought he made some good saves, you know, came out for some good crosses. Yeah, he took a little bit of getting used to some of it, but I thought it was decent. You know, he definitely is the reason why we conceded or why we didn't win today. So, you know, that's that. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's just disappointing because if you talk through the team, I was happy with Mendy, I was happy with Zuma, I was happy with Tomori, I was happy with Ben Chilwell, very happy with him in the first half. Struggled a bit in the second half, maybe lack of fitness as well. Emerson, I was happy with him, other than a mistake, to be honest. Aspie did all right. Jorginho, I thought, had a good game. Kovacic could have done better in some things, but overall wasn't all too bad, to be honest. Zane, with another £4.99 donation, really do appreciate that, saying you made the same mistakes as United, using ex-players to manage your teams. Should have got Brendan Rodgers. No, we shouldn't have got Brendan Rodgers. If anything, we should have kept Sarri, like made him be a bit happier, than he wouldn't have wanted to leave to Juventus. But I don't think Lampard is necessarily the problem for the game today. Well, no, I mean, maybe to some extent he was. Mason Mount had a bit of a poor game, but I genuinely just think there was not enough urgency and not enough connection between the front 4, which is Mount, Werner, Giroud, and Hudson-Odoi, and the kind of the back 7, you know, the goalkeeper, the defence, and the 2 holding mids, which is why I usually prefer a 4-3-3 formation. Another donation, £5 donation by Fantasy GPA Tour. Appreciate that, guys. I don't care about the EFL Cup, and I'm still very much Frank in, but that was really bad. Horrific management in the second half. Horrific. Yeah, I agree with you. Let me just go through a couple more things. I just thought there was no connection. That was partly down to Mason Mount, partly down to Olivier Giroud. He couldn't hold up a single ball. But because he's so slow, you can't play his ball over the top either to relieve some pressure in the second half. Giroud was a nightmare today, genuinely a nightmare. The way Giroud played today, I would have much rather had Michy Batshuayi. Like, he was just a shadow of the guy that he was since restarts. Like, honestly, it was disappointing, really, really disappointing. But yeah, Mount had a very quiet evening. Things didn't come off for him. But then again, he had a brilliant game against West Brom and played too many games. He shouldn't even have started. You know, there's a reason why I said play Barkley or Ruben. Neither of them did play, so that's very disappointing. What else can I say? Hudson-Odoi, I thought, had a decent game out of the last moment when he just bottled it. I thought he tried things, was happy. Timo Werner, I thought, had a really poor game other than his goal. You know, worked hard, yes. Good runs, yes. But there's too many times where he was just too lazy with the ball, passing it backwards too comfortably. Or situations where he just, his touch wasn't, not his touch, but just his layoffs just weren't that good. Why can't Hudson-Odoi take anyone on? No, he can. The problem is when he plays on the right, he has nowhere to go to because he doesn't have a left foot, which is why I keep saying play him on the left. But when you have Timo Werner playing on the wing, it's kind of what you have to do. Lampard is a BTEC Roy Hodgson. Roy Hodgson just beat Man United, mate, so I don't know what you're waffling about. And didn't Roy Hodgson beat Arsenal about 3 times last season? Probably did, because Palace usually always win against Arsenal, so, that's that. Regardless. And Giroud was just awful, like I said. The first half was okay, just didn't quite do enough with it, but we're 1-0 up, so it was alright, and the second half was just awful. It was genuinely really, really bad. I was very, very disappointed with it. If passing backwards and sideways having a good game, then I must be missing something with Jorginho. Werner, not winger, please. Okay. I'm going to try my very, very best to explain to you what Jorginho did. First of all, his pressing in the first half was ridiculous. Absolute world class. The only one that actually did it right in our entire team. And he made everyone else do it better. And he was the only guy that gave us some sort of control to not be mugged off in the first half already. In the second half, they pressed us a bit higher, and we didn't have an outlet up front. Like, Jorginho played so many great balls to Giroud today. Giroud couldn't do anything with a single one of them. Jorginho played about 5 or 6 brilliant over-the-top passes. Brilliant, incredible. Nothing was done with it. Nothing. And it's so disappointing. And honestly, this hate for Jorginho makes me so angry. Honestly, guys, just watch football. Stop hating on our own players. Hate on the likes of Alonso. Hate on the likes of Olivier Giroud, who just stays up top and can't control a single ball. Like you're crying about Jorginho not playing well enough because he's only passing sideways. Well, at least he's doing something right. Olivier Giroud did not a single thing right. And you're complaining about Jorginho like you people need to use your brains, please. Stop making yourself look like absolute mugs all the time. Like, it's genuinely pissing me off. Like, you just need to relax. About Jorginho, just use your brains. Like, use your brains. Look at how much better we were when Kovacic was off. It wasn't Jorginho that was the problem. It was Kovacic that was the problem. I said this in my preview yesterday. We need someone that sits in a 4-3-1. If Kante learns to sit, yeah, then we can drop Jorginho. But until Kante learns that he has to sit in a 4-2-3-1, because we need one sitting, that's why we're interested in Declan Rice. Jorginho has to play. It's the only reason. Who was my man of the match? There was no man of the match today. Simple as that. Simple as that. I don't know why. Lampard out. You need to relax as well, people. Relax. I don't understand where this idea comes from by people that every manager needs to be sacked. I tweeted this a few days ago. My Twitter, by the way, is down in the description below if you want to check that out. If you also wanted Sarri out and you want Lampard out now, kind of fair enough. Maybe that's just how you see football. You just always want the manager gone. Maybe you just always want the manager gone. Fair enough. But if you, for example, wanted Sarri out but are finding every excuse to keep Lampard in, or if you wanted Sarri in but just want Lampard out, you need to use your brains, people. Yes, I know it's second season now, but we didn't have pre-season. I know others did neither, but, I mean, Spurs did. Spurs had a pre-season. They weren't in an FA Cup final. They weren't in a Champions League game. They had a decent pre-season. Yeah, they're playing loads of games. Just means they're sharper. You know, I'm not saying we shouldn't have won today, but you've got to put things into perspective. You can't just say, oh, Lampard is awful now. You spent 200 million and now we're not doing anything. I mean, yeah, and, like, what's that going to change now if we change the manager? And then we get a manager that doesn't even want half the players we have. What's the point in that? It doesn't make anything better. You need to give people time. Like, it doesn't help anyone. Guys, honestly, you need to relax. Honestly, you need to relax. It's just ridiculous. This Lampard, what's that going to help? Who are you going to bring in, right? Are you going to think, oh, we're just going to get Nagelsmann of Leipzig? What if he doesn't want to? You're just going to get Tuchel out of PSG? What if he doesn't want to? And then what? Pochettino, what if he doesn't want to join Chelsea? What then what? Do you know what I mean? Like, you need to think. You need to think, guys. We will get top 4. Comfortably. Trust me, guys. We will comfortably get the top 4. I mean, comfortably. Everything will be all right. And not Mount out. Mount had a brilliant game against West Brom. Mount played 5 games and all 5 games played 90 minutes. Why is he even having to do that? That's the main criticism of mine for Frank Lampard. Why is Mount playing every second? And that's not even like saying Mount is his son or whatever else. It's saying he's giving preferential treatment to Mount. Playing him 5 games in a row for 90 minutes is, if anything, punishment rather than preferential treatment. Do you know what I mean? Lawrence, listen to you. What did you say? My girlfriend said, listen to her. What is she saying? Did you text me something? Don't know. What are you saying, gorgeous? Listen to you what? Oh, by the way, Timo Werner was cramping up late in the game. Thankfully, he isn't injured. That's a positive. Where is your message now? I can't even see it anymore. Like, text me, gorgeous. Don't just, like, put it in the chat. I want to see that. I know what it's saying. But we have another donation here, which I'm going to use. Which I'm going to read out. If I ever bloody find it, there it is. Bloody hell. The Chelsea players don't want to run when in possession with the ball at their feet. No one wants to be bold and carry the ball forward. Thank you for the $5 donation, mate. Nick. It's a tricky one. I don't think it's quite that simple, to be honest. I don't think it's quite that simple because, like, Kovacic tries those things, but yes, we're in general a possession-based team. And, the problem is when everyone plays so deep against us, oh, you're home. Great. Brilliant. Amazing. How are you home already? But fair enough. But if everyone sits so deep, it's difficult for the wingers to just take people on and run with the ball. Yeah, midfield, we could sometimes carry it a bit more. But then you also need the players in the front kind of moving accordingly. Moving to open up spaces, but also moving to be, available for last-ditch passes if you're about to get tackled when you go on the run. Do you know what I mean? It would take Chelsea 3 years to get better. Define better. Lampard out, Terry in. I mean, no. Not right now. I mean, I love Lampard more than I love Terry, but no, I love Terry more than I love Lampard, but you know what I mean. Lampard out, and I can explain why. No, you can't. Well, you can't give a good explanation. What do you mean Kepa than Mendy? I mean, Kepa possibly would have been better on the penalties. Fair enough. But at the end, you don't sign a goalkeeper to be good at penalties, do you? And I thought Mendy was good. I was happy with him. We had a stronger team than Spurs, and we bottled it. We haven't played well once this season. And Lampard needs to stop playing Mount so much, and Timo didn't step up. Why Timo didn't step up? Timo scored, so I don't know what you're waffling about, but, I think I'm going to just answer a couple of more things that you guys have put in the chat. Again, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Blues Fans TV. That would genuinely be massively appreciated if you could do that. And drop a like. Every single one that's watching right now, we have 650 people watching, but only 143 likes. So everyone, make sure you drop a like right now. It would genuinely mean a lot to me. It would cheer me up a little bit. My local team only got a draw. We're awful. We're meant to be good this season. We're awful. Chelsea bottled it. I'm not in a great mood. So make sure you drop a like. Would help me out. Would help the channel because it pushes these videos out to more people. So please do that. Would mean a lot to me. But yeah, I'm going to get to a couple of other things that you guys have put into the chat. How was Mendy? Did he impress? I think it was good. Made one very good save, 2 very good saves actually by Regular in the second half as well. 2 very good saves. I was happy with that. Pulisic brings creativity and the ability to create goals. And yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Pulisic is arguably our best player. If you think about Timo Werner constantly playing on the left right now, that will stop as soon as Pulisic is fit. Timo plays up top then, where he's better and we have a better player on the left. If Ziyech is fit, that stops. And when Ziyech is fit, Pulisic is fit, even Mason Mount probably doesn't play anymore because then you'll have Kai at the 10, Pulisic on the left, Ziyech on the right, and Timo up front. Do you know what I mean? And then we'll just have to sort the double pivot situation, whether we end up signing Declan Rice in the next, 10 days or week or so until the transfer window shuts, a week, or not, we'll have to find something. My prime solution is tell Kante to sit. Tell him to stop running forwards constantly because we need someone to do that. It's not his best thing to do, but we need someone to do it. So if you're not gonna if you want to play Kante and Jorginho and Kovacic, it needs to be Kante that stays. It's as simple as that. Werner shouldn't play on the wing, I agree, but because of rotation, he needed to today to some extent. Faker Crown's crying for the sack. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. But I think I'm gonna leave it here, guys. Maybe one more. You're just waffling everyone jumps on the bandwagon, listen to Sky Sports, etc. So dumb. If you listen to the crap you lot had anti-football brains, you'd be able to see the direction we're heading. I mean, you're right to some extent, but it's not like it's easy. Oh, look at the direction we're going in. We need to actually see improvement, right? Like, I'm not saying, oh, Lampard out now, or Lampard isn't good enough now, but we need to see improvement this season, because we were worse last season than we were under Sarri. Okay, we didn't have Hazard, so that makes a big difference, but we are still worse. Not just positionally, but we went from being the third best defence in the league to conceding 54 goals with being the worst in the top 10. Do you know what I mean? And now again, still being poor defensively, still conceding too many goals. And the scoring goals works at times, doesn't work at other times. Lampard uses too many different formations. He needs to settle on one main system. Yeah, you go away from it now and again, depending on your opponent, but in general, you need one main system. You need a centre-back partnership. We need a centre-back partnership that get used to playing together all the time. At least we have the goalkeeper sorted now. I hope Mondi will just play on the weekend as well. Honestly, we need to sort things out. So it's not as simple as, oh, Lampard is brilliant and Lampard is amazing. I'm criticising Lampard. He does get things wrong, but to say Lampard out is just silly. Ever since Brighton, there has been no improvement. I mean, ever since Brighton, we played every 2 days, so there's literally no training happening. So, I mean, I don't know what you're waffling about. Pointless being a possession-based team if you do nothing with the ball. Yeah, but yes, but I completely agree with you. But it's not as simple. So what do you want to do then? Do you want us to park the bus and hit on the brake? We don't want to be that. We don't have the players for that anymore. We signed players to do something else, so we need to get better with that. I'm going to leave it there. It's a very, very disappointing evening. At the end of the day, I have to say, if it wasn't Spurs, I wouldn't particularly be fussed to be out of the League Cup. You know, it doesn't harm to have a couple of games less, in all honesty. Like, I will say it as openly as that. It doesn't harm us to get a couple of weeks where we don't have a midweek game and we can actually train. You know, we have the Champions League coming up as well, with the draw, of course, happening on Thursday. So, you know, there's plenty of things happening, which will be tough enough. So, you know, it's not the worst thing to be out of this cup, but let's not let me be a hypocrite, because it was also the easiest trophy for us to win, and Chelsea and Lampard need a trophy. So, you know, it would have been great to win it regardless. But yeah, guys, I'm going to leave it here one last time. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Blues Fans TV. If you haven't yet, make sure you drop a like if you're watching this right now, or if you're watching it as a video later on. And if you are, make sure you leave me your thoughts in the comment section down below as well. That'd be massively appreciated. And also, lastly, make sure you subscribe to my personal channel, on which I will do another more in-depth review about the game, with having watched analysis, having watched some interviews and stuff over on my channel tomorrow evening. So make sure you subscribe for that by clicking the I button and heading over to my channel, or the link to it is also down in the description below. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea, it's upwards and onwards, and I'll see you when I see you.
Today's video was sponsored by Beer52. You can find their link in the description below, and head over to www.beer52.com/blues.